Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Actors Area. So happy to have you here. I'm your host, Sean Robert Grant. Really excited about today's episode. And, this is something that had me thinking because nowadays pilot season is pretty much like, I know they still call it technically a pilot season, but it just seems to go year round because there's so much content. There's so many opportunities for actors nowadays that are available to allow you to book jobs. And that's amazing because this is one of the best times to really be an actor or actress and really do yourself justice as far as like building a really awesome career. So today we're going to talk about, standing out during pilot season. Okay. And so what's interesting is, especially if you're going to like the studio auditions and like, the auditions for shows that are really getting ready to kick off their inaugural start, if you will, in order to be cast as an actor on a show like that. I mean, unless you got some kind of amazing hookup, you really have to stand out. You really have to stand out. And this topic is really important to me because there's so many actors out there today. And it's not even a case of being in the midst of competition or being focused on competition, but it's more about unleashing and expanding the creativity that you have within. So with that being said, my thing is, if I'm going to stand out during pilot season, I need something more than just being a fantastic actor. I need essence. I need presence. I need the power of who I am as an individual to resonate to the person, whether it's a casting director or producer or director auditioning me. I need all those things to be conveyed to the person in front of me. And how do I do that? Well, a while back, I think I did a podcast and a blog called Mastering the Audition with Your Intuition. And this was so truly amazing because it really helped you to understand how to get the edge for yourself within the moments leading up to the audition. So let's think about this. And we got to always put ourselves into the shoes of the other person. We got to find that connection. Connection is key, right? So if we put our shoes into the other person, I'm a casting director. I'm casting a new drama for Fox, and I am going to see, let's say, 250 actors. Well, from statistics alone, chances are 80 to 90% of those actors are going to do the audition the exact same way. Okay? They're going to do it the exact same way. So if that's the case, then if I'm number 147 of the actors to go in for this role, how am I going to stand out? And this is where our creativity comes in at. This is where, like, if you're not meditating, you need to meditate because meditation allows you to tap into that intuition to give you something that's going to make you to be remembered. I think one of the most amazing things for me is when people remember me, because that means that I've stood out. And my job is to stand out and to be different, but also be so connected to who I am that my differences show automatically without me trying to make an effort to be different, if that makes sense. Okay? So we've got to tap into that connection to understand, okay, what's going to make us separate ourselves from the rest of the pack? What's going to make the casting director look up or put a note saying, oh, definitely a callback, must remember this person. This person has something, I can't put my finger on it, but I love it and I definitely want to see them again for a callback. Like, what's going to allow that to happen, right? And the beauty of this is that it's not one thing that you can do in order to create this connection. It's a multitude of things. Matter of fact, it's an infinite number of things you can do to make this connection present and allow it to resonate between you and the person auditioning you. So that's something that we really have to dial into and think about when we're doing auditionings, especially during pilot season, because any other audition is just fine. Like the pressure's not on as much, but now it's like, you're about to get signed to work with a production company for the next, 3, possibly 7, 8, 9 months, depending on the show that you're auditioning for. So you really have to show these people that you're what they're looking for. And honestly, the way to do that is to be yourself. And trust me, if you don't get that job, another job will come along. But if you continue to be yourself and you continue to unapologetically be yourself as a person, as an actor, everyone will see that and it will resonate so well. It will resonate so well. So a couple things I just kind of want to go over here that we can kind of think about when we're doing this. One is wardrobe, right? One is wardrobe. I just wrote a book called Become a Powerhouse in Auditioning, and it talks about the different things that you can do with your wardrobe. And I know I've had a lot of teachers who said, you know what, don't do anything too crazy or too drastic. But who cares? Because life is crazy and drastic. Life is just kind of like, I felt it, so I went with the feeling and I did it. Take the chance. Don't be afraid to stick out like a sore thumb, because that could benefit you. That could be the very thing that gets you, that allows you to be reminded of, right? So when we think of wardrobe and we think about who we're playing, for me, imagery is everything. I always feel like I have to create the imagination. I always feel like I have to create the imagination for the casting director, right? I always have to do that, because if I can do that, then immediately they can see me as that person, right? So it's always about creating the imagination. So it goes from wardrobe that, if you want to add like a costume into it, like I've done this for cops. I've done this for I auditioned for a show for Oprah, a few months ago, and it was a dancer, and I basically pulled out my "You Got Served" gear, and like literally stepped into character to do that, and I felt like it was one of the best auditions, the most authentic and organic auditions that I've had, because I didn't hesitate on really stepping into this character to convey that not only did I have the chops, but I was ready to go the distance to be who they were looking for. It was just an amazing audition overall. So think about those things. Don't go too nuts with it, but really like push the buck to see how can I stick out in this whole character. How can I stand out to the people auditioning me? Okay, so from there, then you want to think about demeanor, right? Then you want to think about mannerisms. Then you want to think about, like, how does this character move? And one of the greatest exercises I've ever experienced within an acting class, and something I kind of like took on even more so in a bigger capacity, was implementing animals into the movement of the character that I'm doing. And it doesn't even have to be like a character sort of actor or situation, not a character actor, but it doesn't have to be a character you're playing that's so demonstrative like Marlon Brando, or Catwoman or anything like that. Obviously, we know Catwoman is a cat and Marlon Brando kind of implemented the bulldog. But what if there was a character that was, very stern, very strong, very rooted in who he was, and you could implement a bit of gorilla, a bit of lion into it, right? that subtle change, that subtle transformation within that character makes a huge difference. Makes a huge difference. So these are things that you want to look into as well when you're thinking about standing out. These mannerisms, right? Like how does this person move? How does this person move as me to make it more natural? So that's stuff we want to think about. Another thing is, and I feel like this is the most important part, because if you can disarm the people or create some type of feeling within them, what I noticed, and not all, but a lot of them, a lot of casting directors, a lot of people auditioning, they have their walls up immediately. Their walls are just up, right? And so it's up to you to really disarm them. And the one way you can disarm them is through a smile. Through a smile, through being polite, through being courteous, by asking intelligent questions. Like, it's okay to ask intelligent questions. Like, get them thinking about their project, about this character, so that you can help them do their job better. You're like, this stuff goes a long way. Like, I always think about what's the most intelligent question I can ask about this character from this casting director to get them thinking about something that they may not have covered or thought of going into it. You earn points for that. Like, that's huge. So wrapping up here a bit, if we take the time to really sit with and really conjure up in our creativity the things and the ideas that are going to consistently help us to stand out, trust me, you're going to come back to me. You're going to send me an email saying, you know what? I took your advice and now I'm booking like principal roles. I'm booking supporting roles. I'm booking guest stars. I'm booking co-starring roles. I'm booking all these roles because I decided that I was going to stand out, that being a great actor alone or actress alone was not enough for me. I needed to take it up a notch to another level. And that's exactly what I did. And that's all you need to do. And if you need to listen to this podcast again, or you want to shoot me an email asking any questions about what you can do, don't hesitate, because not only is this your career, but this is your life. You are an actor or an actress or a performer. This is what you desire to do. Go after it. Do your thing. Like, let loose and don't look back, because there's so much opportunity out there for all of us. And I really desire you to have the opportunity and the chance to take advantage of it. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today. It has been absolutely amazing. Talk soon. Take care.